So, welcome back everyone. So, in the previous PPT, we have learned who is a leader, what is the concept of leadership, are the objectives of leadership, why there is need of leadership in an organization, and what are the functions of leadership. And now we will be learning about the leadership style and the theories of leadership. So, there are various kinds of style that a leader follows, such as autocratic leadership, democratic leadership, laissez-faire leadership, transformational leadership, transactional leadership, pace setter leadership, and coaching leadership. We will be learning about all the styles of leadership one by one. So the first is autocratic leadership. Autocratic leadership is the leadership where the sole decision making authority is with the leader. He does not involve any other he does not he or she the leader does not involve any kind of suggestion from the subordinates or from the team that is working under the leader, and only the sole decision making lies with them. uh, they do not change their decision according to the situations or according to the ideas given by team members or employees to the leader. There is high degree of dependency in autocratic leadership, since the decision making power is with the leader. he and he decides what he or she feels right. He only decides on the basis of what he or she feels right. So autocratic leadership is basically, under it, sole decision making power is with the leader. A leader feels right, he takes decision on that basis, and it is also considered correct, because if there are number of suggestions, there will be greater time in taking decisions. So decision making is quick under autocratic leadership. So basically, it is the advantage of autocratic leadership that there is quick decision making. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of autocratic leadership? Since it provides quick decision making, since the sole decision making power is with the leader. A leader can decide whatever a leader can decide what he or she feels right according to the situation. Some subordinates Then second point is, some subordinates feel that there should be certain kind of authority over them, so that they can and remain focused towards the work, and they can complete the work within the time. Confidential matters are kept secret under the autocratic leadership, since the leaders are working in certain kind of organization, and that organization obviously have certain kinds of secrets, and that secrets remain secrets when the autocratic leadership is followed. And that secret doesn't reveals to every member of the team. So it keeps the confidential matters confidential. Less competent employees are required, since under autocratic leadership, more knowledgeable people or more creative people are not suitable with this kind of leadership, because if creative people are not utilized, then their talent will go waste. So less competent, less creative people are suitable for this kind of leadership. Then comes the disadvantages of autocratic leadership. Subordinates are not informed about why they are asked to do a particular work. Only the work is given to the employees, and they are told that they have to do the work within the specified time. So they are not informed about why they have to do the work. Only they are told that they have to do a certain work. Subordinates are forced to follow a certain direction. Only the direction that the leader feels right is to be followed under this. So it is a disadvantages, as people have their own mind and they have their own knowledge to do to do the things. Depends entirely upon the efficiency. If the leader is efficient, only depends upon the efficiency of the leadership. Only the leader's skills are utilized. Employee skills go waste under certain kind of leadership. Creative Since I have said creative people or creative ideas are not utilized, so this is also a disadvantage of autocratic leadership. Organization's continuity is threatened. If an organization follow the autocratic leadership, their continuity will be threatened, because only only the decision making is with the leader, and what he says, subordinates has to follow that, and that becomes a kind of and that becomes a kind of monotony in the work, and thus their continuity will be threatened. Then comes the democratic leadership. See, democratic leadership, see, if it, the word suggests the democratic, that means all the collective actions and free flow of ideas are there, and the leader invite all the collective and free flow ideas of the employees to participate in the decision making, and make decision making, and responsibility is also shared among all the team members, and discussion is balanced and controlled under the democratic leadership. Basically, it is followed under such organization that are non profitable, and school boards and the forward thinking company, and as the democratic leadership, it it is the collective voice of all the people in the team, and their collective voice is used for taking decision, rather than sole decision is done by the leader. Then the advantages of democratic leadership: develops plans to employ and evaluate their own performance. Under the democratic leadership, it helps employees to develop their own plans and evaluate their own performances as how they have performed. Allows employees to establish goal, encourages the employees to grow on the job and to be promoted. Recognizes and encourages the achievement of the employees. It is successful where the highly skilled people or highly experienced employees are there. The disadvantages of democratic leadership is that the employees are more the employees are given freedom. They may underutilize they may take the work for granted. uh, if Then, due to the lack of communication skill, important suggestions may get unheard. In case of uneducated people or less competent employees, this leadership is not effective. Then comes the laissez-faire leadership. Laissez-faire leadership, the other name of the laissez-faire leadership is delegative leadership. In this type of leadership, allows all the group members to make decisions. Allows all the group members to take decisions. Generally, this leadership style leads to low productivity among the group members. It is under this, very little guidance is there. It says that I trust you, and complete freedom is given to the employees by the leader who follow whose laissez-faire leadership. The leaders provide tools and resources to the employees, and doesn't tell them how to do the task. They develop themselves how they have to do the task, and solves the problems on their own. Then the advantages of laissez-faire leadership: the advantages is that subordinates are given freedom and autonomy to set their own goals. It is effective for creative jobs where more creative people are there. Employees have high morale because they are given the sole power of deciding the goal and how to reach that goal. Well, then the disadvantages is subordinates lack focus because they are given sole power to decide the goal. Then they may lack focus. It hampers productivity. Sometimes the employees perform outstanding, but sometimes there might be failures are also there, so that may hamper the productivity of the organization. Poor coordination and direction is also there in the laissez-faire. Sometimes the employees complete the task in time, and sometimes they fail to do the task in time. So there is poor coordination. This shows the poor coordination and poor direction of the employees thinking. Then comes the transformational leaderships. Transformational leadership is similar to coach leadership. that focuses on clear communication and setting clear communication, goal setting, and employees motivation. Under the transformational leadership, each employees or individual uh, are directed towards the organizational objectives. Under this, leaders spend much time on the bigger picture. This style is leading to the best because they can handle many delegated tasks without continuous supervision of the leaders. Then comes the transactional leadership. Under this leadership, the manager establishes a predetermined incentives, usually in the form of monetary rewards. It says that if the employees perform according to the standards set, then they will be rewarded, and if they fails to do so, then there will be certain disciplinary actions for that failure. So there is a transaction. If the employee performs better according to the standards, then they will be rewarded. If they fails to perform according to the standard, then they have to face certain kinds of disciplinary actions. So leaders are also focused on mentorship, instructing and training to achieve the goals and enjoy the rewards. Since a leader always wanted the team members to enjoy rewards, so they always motivate or focused on the mentorship and always motivate the workers to do or employees to do better so that they can enjoy reward. This type of leader is great for the organization or the teams where tasked with hitting specific goals such as sales and revenue department. It is very good for the sales and revenue department, where hitting the targets and goals is considered major aim, and if they hit the sales goal, then they will be rewarded with the bonus. Then comes the pace setter leadership. The pace setter leadership is one of the most effective for driving fast result. Under this, leaders are primarily focused on the performances of the employees that are working under them, and they often set high standards and told their team to that they are accountable for hitting the goals. While the pace setting leadership is motivational, and it helps a fast paced environment where team members are full of are full of enthusiasm and full of and are not and are energized. It is best because they are given the sole power to perform, and they are held accountable, and they are given the authority to do a work, and they are judged according to the performances they have made. And then comes the coach leadership. A coaching leadership is someone who can quickly recognize their team members strength and weaknesses and motivations, and help them to improve the individual. Under the coach leadership, the leaders immediately or the leaders quickly recognizes the team members strengths and weaknesses, and divides the task among them according to their strength and weaknesses, and and gives them feedback regarding the work they have done. And they are skilled in setting they are the leaders are under this are skilled in setting clear expectations and creating positive and motivating environment. The coaching leadership has the advantages for employees, as well as for the employees as well as employee they have managed, but unfortunately it is most underutilized because it is most time consuming, as if the leader takes much time in identifying their strength and weaknesses, and dividing the work basis on based on the strength and weaknesses, then and the time to achieve the goal will be elapse.